Your silence wasn't surrender, and your silence was never weakness. Your silence is where illusions of the past came to die, and where remembrance of who you are occurred. And if this is for you, I want to tell you they throw the past in your face in hopes that you will abandon who you truly are. And if this is for you, I want to tell you that silence is where you broke the pattern. Silence is where you rewrote the code. And silence is where you became unpredictable. Because if this is for you, I want to tell you that you had a habit of burning your hand in the fire. Because rather than recognize that it was your own light shining upon your own demons, manifesting through other people, you stopped fighting things outside of you. You drowned out the distractions and the illusions of who you thought were coming at you, and recognized that in order to save yourself, you have to wake up. And if this is for you, we have the Hermit. We have the Wise One. We have the Awakening card. And we have the Fool. I want to tell you that silence is where your victim consciousness comes to die. It is where all of the borrowed beliefs that create the skewed perception and the limited keyhole that you had found yourself looking through began to collapse. And if this is for you, I want to tell you that you found the darkness earlier than some. In order to save yourself is to wake up. And if this is for you, I want to tell you that you recognize now that the first step on the hero's journey begins in the darkness. Because it is only through the darkness that you find your own light. And you begin to recognize that everything you saw outside of you was your own light being cast on your own shadows, manifesting your own demons outside of you in different faces through different experiences. And if this is for you, I want to tell you this is where remembrance occurs, because you collapse everything that you're not. This is where the echoes of borrowed beliefs and skewed perceptions and viewing yourself through the lens of others can no longer sustain itself. This is where fears are faced. This is where wisdom from past experience overrides the need to defend who you no longer are. And that is why when you moved in silence, when you surrendered to what was calling you within, it was never surrendering outside of you. It was literally collapsing. And I just keep hearing Control-Alt-Delete. Control-Alt-Delete. Removing the illusion and the nightmare that you thought you were living in, which was perpetuating your own suffering because you didn't realize that you were the source. You found the darkness earlier than some. And this takes me back to a message from yesterday. You found the darkness earlier than some. You got lost in the darkness because you couldn't recognize your own light, because you were focused so heavily on the things outside of you, you did not realize that they were coming from within you. And if this is for you, I want to tell you that you recognize that you are the source now. You recognize that skewed perception, that tiny keyhole, that your knowing was what widened it. Your knowing was always encoded in you. But in order to hear your knowing, in order for it to come online and recalibrate as your compass, It required you to stop defending all of the past versions of you that would be thrown in your face. You are already the proof that nothing that ever came against you could stop you. But when you focus so hard on what appeared to be adversarial experiences, you missed that you were fighting yourself. You were being shown time and time again your own patterns, your own betrayal, your lack of trust. And now you recognize that when you look through the skewed keyhole, you look through the lens of suffering. You look through the lens of separation, not realizing that you are casting your own demons outside of you. If this is for you, I want to tell you this is where the shame loop ended. This is where the weight of everything that you have witnessed has finally collapsed. I want to tell you that the clarity that you have right now is something that many wouldn't understand because they still perceive through suffering. I want to confirm this with the blueprint. So let's see. Page 131. The hero takes responsibility. The hero takes responsibility, not just for their actions, but for their energy. They understand that their life is a mirror. And they polish it from the inside. They speak truth. They sit with discomfort. They allow others to see them, not the performance, not the person. They are vulnerable, raw, and real. In the face of fear, the hero does not run, they stay. They ask what the fear is teaching them. They walk into the fire because they know that's where gold is made. Each challenge becomes a gateway. Each heartbreak becomes a teacher. They no longer reject the shadow, they integrate it. They know the wholeness includes both light and dark. The hero serves, not for praise, but from purpose. They lift others because they remember being on the ground. They love without agenda. They give without keeping score. They move from soul, not ego. Their compass is not approval, but alignment. They align with their higher purpose, not because it's easy, but because it's true. They trust the process even when it makes no sense. They hold their path sacred, knowing it is part of something much larger than themselves. The hero stops chasing power and starts embodying it. In shedding ego, they become free. In shedding ego, they become free. They no longer need to be right, adored, or in control. They collaborate, they share, they grow, and they keep growing, knowing there's always more to learn. I'm just going to stop there. If that's not a confirmation and you feel this resonates, drop a comment. Drop a comment and share something about the clarity that you have right now to help others expand their keyhole. Love you guys.